ஆயிரம்.
Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning is a non-profit registered society working now for more than 4 decades in the areas of Indian heritage awareness.
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyanamoolam Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam Gurur Padam, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Gurur Kripaha. Bhagavan always says, Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. That God is there in the cave of your heart. You just have to turn inwards. Once you turn inwards, you are in touch with that divinity within yourself. So this divinity, we call it as God. And what are the attributes of God? Love, peace, forgiveness, all the higher mind things which you go to after giving up the lower mind of lust, greed, anger, hatred and jealousy. After you give up all those lower mind things, you go to the higher mind, which is what we believe is the higher mind. Obviously, you need to obviously transcend that too, that we'll discuss later on, but the basic thing is we need to be in touch with that divinity within. So, when we actually are in touch with that divinity within, then what do we see? We are in love with ourselves first, and then we are in love with everything. See, we always believe that I am in love with myself, but I do not love anybody outside. But actually the world is just a reflection, as a mirror of, if you don't love anybody outside, be very sure that you actually don't love yourself. So, once you start loving yourself, and then you'll come to a situation where there won't be another. The otherness will not be there. That's what happened to those two people in the temple. When they are standing together in front of God and praying, what happens is that man's, though he outside the temple, they both are not friends, but inside the temple, both of them in front of God are together in prayer. So there's the absence of otherness. So let us see what are the different types of common threads that are there in society. One of them, which is the most common thread, a family, right? When you see a family, there's a common thread among all the family members. So they always are together. But once you go a little beyond that, what happens is the connections are lost. This common thread is lost. If my wife and my son are there, okay, but if somebody else is there, I don't see that person as part of me. Why is that? Why is that? Because we are very, very focused on ourselves. We really do not want, if I am happy, it doesn't matter if somebody else is happy or not. If I am happy, God will look after everybody else. But I am going to be happy myself. So, what happens is you come to a situation of me, myself. The trick about all sadhana, the trick about spirituality is to be able to grow from me to we, and from we have to grow to the highest level, which we'll also talk about. So how do we realize the common thread? So there are three aspects I have taken up. Obviously, all of you have experienced different aspects in your lives, but I've taken up three aspects which are normally practiced by people who are in the spiritual path. Now, why the spiritual path at all? Now, why the spiritual path at all? See, when you're a child, the child will ask the father, why? Why should I, like if I tell my son, don't cut your nails on Saturday. Okay, I'll say, don't cut your nails on Saturday. Then what he'll say? He'll ask me, why? Why should I not cut my nails on Saturday? So there's always this question of why? So my understanding of why spirituality is really to be able to go within and to be able to quieten the mind. So when you do self-inquiry, what happens is actually initially you believe that God is within you. And as you go more deeper and deeper and deeper, you transcend from an idol to a name, from a name to something beyond that, and then finally you come to this stillness within yourself. So dhyana it has great benefits, and Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi always says that self-inquiry is the best way of doing dhyana. The third thing is seva. How many of us really do good to others? That means you love somebody else as much as you love yourself. Like dharma, what is the definition of dharma? Do something unto others as you want others to do to you. So then what happens is when you actually do something with great love and care, what happens? It is actually an offering to God. That means what? You are actually seeing the presence of God within the other jiva. When you do that, what happens? There is a sense of surrender. Sar ko under dalna. You actually put your head under the feet of God and saying, whatever I am doing, actually I am offering at your feet. If this hand goes up, it also goes up because I am offering this action also of mine to you. So more and more what happens is your every task, every thought, word and action that you do becomes actually an offering to the Lord. And this is what we call as surrender. So what we really need to do as part of this common thread is we need to expand ourselves from the limited to the unlimited. So what happens when you go from unlimited to unlimited? Initially, you will see yourself as this body, mind, ego complex. And then what happens is you will grow and grow out of this body, mind, ego and encompass everything, like you encompassed your family, you'll encompass the entire universe as part of you. So, I thought let us, it's always good as part of the training process for me to understand that by chanting his name, what happens? By chanting Ramana's name, what happens is, first of all, the wandering mind, the mind which is wandering here and there, comes to. It's like a cow. If you don't feed it food, what will happen? It will go to the neighbor's house and eat food. and you offer it food, still one day it will go there, and second day it will eat here. After some time, that cow, which is supposed to go to the neighbor's house, will not go to the neighbor's house and eat food here. So exactly the same way the mind, initially the mind will keep on wandering here and there, but as you keep chanting, what happens? This mind stays within. And as it stays within, what happens is that it leads you to detachment. Detachment means what? You are no more attached to all the thoughts which are coming because of your sensual movements of your eyes, nose, whatever you are able to see, hear, or smell, or whatever it is, you don't have any of those attachments anymore. And then we expand from me to we. That means we start like what Mahatma Gandhi did. Mahatma Gandhi had nothing, but he actually we believed that he can get the country out of the British rule. And then what happened? He believed that and went forward with that. So similarly, everybody followed him. So once you start believing in things, people start automatically believing in you. And then it leads you to the same source. So spiritual quest, the doership. See, this is a very important aspect of spirituality, is the doership. See, we always, like I'm standing here, I'm talking. I believe that Venkatesh is speaking. But little do I understand that this body is in a bag of bones and flesh, and there is this Atman which is actually making everything happen. The more and more you go inwards, you start actually understanding the force which is making things happen. So, but the challenge is, the two challenges. If one feels that one has progressed or evolved, there is a sense of ego that comes in. Or the other way, if you feel that you have not progressed, a sense of guilt comes. Either of them does not help you to progress. See, and as per Bhagavan, the good thoughts as well as the bad thoughts are both limiting in your progress. So we need to understand very clearly that if we have to progress, we have to come to a situation of stillness. You should start being aware of what is happening. And once you come to the point of stillness, then whatever this body has to do now, if it has to say something, it will automatically say. So, surrender. So, what do we mean by surrender? Now, many of you may have come by auto. Some of you come by auto, sir? Some of you come by auto, yes. So, we came by auto, right? Did we ask the auto driver, do you know how to drive? Sir, did you ask the driver, did you know how to drive? You did not ask. You just got into the auto and came here. It was a surrender. You believe that the auto driver has got the skill, the auto has got the petrol, and the auto driver knows the way to Ramana Maharshi Center and Sanjay Nagar, and he can take me there. There was so much of surrender. Similarly, if you are in a plane and if the pilot says in the PA system that we will try to land the plane in Chennai, now what will happen? All the passengers will say, wait, I'm going to get down from this plane. Right? Why? So once in life we keep surrendering all the time. It's such a normal process in our lives to surrender. But what happens is the person who actually makes the whole thing happen, we don't surrender to that person. Involuntarily we are surrendering. But here's the situation where Bhagavan says, if you do self-inquiry or if you do surrender to me, It will be like you are going in the train and your baggage, you don't keep it on your lap, you keep it on top. And the train will move automatically and you will relax and have a nice ride. So, more and more you follow surrender, what happens? You realize it is His will that is actually playing out. So, in this surrender, what happens is we go from me to we and we to He. Now, that's the quantum leap that I assumed as part of the seminar. So we are going from this limited entity. From this limited entity, I'm going to a person who actually runs everything, who is everything, runs everything. Everything happens for him, and I believe that that's a quantum leap within that each one of us have to go through in our lives. So the best attitude. So how do we, it's important that this journey is very, very lonely. We have to understand this. We are walking this path, and these gurus are all actually lighting up the path. But we have to finally walk this path ourselves. So how do we walk up this path ourselves? We're going to have people who are going to tell us something. We do Shravana, we do a lot of people tell us various things, and then we do Manana, and then we do Nidhi Dhyasana. Like what Nand Kumar always says, do self-inquiry every day, do self-inquiry every day, 15 minutes at least, do self-inquiry. So what happens is, Nidhi Dhyasana, you keep doing, what happens? The grace sets in. You start experiencing the grace of God everywhere. You'll realize that everything that is happening, you are able to actually do sadhana. I'm able to stand here, you're able to sit there, you're able to hear, I'm able to talk, and you're able to understand, I'm able to hear myself, is all happening by His grace. And once you start believing that from the core of you believe that everything is happening by His grace, then there is nothing to fear, there is nothing to worry about, because everything is happening by Him. My personal belief is because many of us are striving hard to go within and experience the self within. A lot of, if you like yesterday I was seeing those in the video yesterday evening, there were those cars going around, going fast. So lot of those Formula 1, like the Formula 1 cars also were shown. What is important they show is the destination, the checkered flag at the end. Have you come first, second, third? Where are you? But it's important in the spiritual life that to understand the process, the journey is as important as the destination. Once you start believing that the journey is as important as the destination, then what happens? You are in joy every moment. When you enjoy every moment, then what happens? It really doesn't matter where you go. Because when you are, like what Dr. Sharda said yesterday, was it is only the now that matters. Then the past was already gone. The future nobody knows. It's only in the now. So, but important thing to understand is being in the now. Is being happy in the now. You're breathing right now. You have all your body working perfectly fine, and you have food, water, shelter, clothing on you. You are the most happiest person in the world. You are the 2-3% of the entire universe who has all these three, four things. And then once you start believing that you are so fortunate, and you and over that, the cream on the cake is that you've got a guru like Ramana Maharshi. So it is a great fortune for all of us to be able to be born as a human being and have all the all the pleasures of life, as well as have a guru like Ramana Maharshi. So we should enjoy this whole journey. Is an attitude that we all must cultivate, and that's something I practice very, very regularly. So once you start seeing that, you'll start seeing that God is there with you in every step. So God is literally holding your hand. Like there's one saying where they say is, one man was walking on the sand, and he could see God's. When he looked back, he could see two sets of footsteps. There were his footsteps and God's footsteps. And when he went further on, he suddenly looked back and he could see only one set of footsteps. And then he asked God, I thought you said you'll always be with me. God said, yes, I will always be with you, but you had trouble at that point of time. I was carrying you. The footsteps that you saw on the sand were actually mine and not yours. So this God is always there with you. The divinity is always there with you. It is just a matter of going within. So coming back to what Dr. Sharda was saying yesterday, now is just right now. There is no later, there's no earlier, there is only now. And more you start becoming a now person, you start enjoying the blessings that God has, that Ramana has been giving you. So what happens is, somebody asked Bhagwan this, I'm going to read this out to you. Many of you have read this many times, but I'll read it out slowly because this gives a perspective of what Bhagwan is trying to tell us. In the hearts of all beginning with Hari, there shines as the pure intellect, the Supreme, who is the same as Arunachala Ramana. When the mind, melting with love for him, reaches the heart wherein he resides as the beloved, the subtle eye of the pure intellect opens, and he reveals himself as pure consciousness. So Bhagwan is saying this very loud and clear. He's standing on top of Arunachala hill and telling each one of us loudly that he's not that body, mind, ego complex. He's that consciousness within each one of us. Right from Hari down to every being on this earth is Ramana. And the more and more he's saying, you must be able to recognize the presence of the Supreme within yourself, and more you are able to go within by doing self-inquiry, by doing surrender. Then what happens is you will start seeing the same thing outside. You can actually give only what you have. If you have purity in your mind, if you have purity in your body, you will give only purity outside. So what is the common thread as we started this whole discussion? What is the common thread for all of us? Why are all of us here today? We're here for the seminar, but why? Ramana is the common thread that goes across each one of us. When more and more we understand Ramana is that consciousness which is within each one of us, then by diving in deep, by doing self-inquiry and by doing surrender, there won't be any concept of time and space. Why? Because you'll always be in the now. When you're always in the now, you'll always be happy. And when you're always happy, you will only show love to all your beings all around you. When you are in that state, you are in bliss. So what they say, Satchit Ananda, you'll always be in happiness. You will always be at peace within. There will be stillness within. And more you are with the stillness within, you will become an ambassador of Bhagwan. Bhagwan be proud to to be able to say that I have a bhakta who's following my footsteps. Like somebody said in Ramana Ashram, people go to the inside room where the Bhagwan used to give darshan, and people go there, and Bhagwan says, do self-inquiry. But everybody, most of the people who come out, they've been asked, and what have you been doing? Oh, I've been doing meditation. Or somebody doing transcendental meditation, somebody doing something else. Bhagwan is saying, do self-inquiry. So important thing for all of us to realize, following Guru's message is very, very important. We must do self-inquiry. And once we do self-inquiry, our common thread, that's Ramana, which it gets stronger and stronger. And as this thing becomes stronger and stronger, then what happens? We will all be always at Bhagwan's feet. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.